The more expensive something is, the higher the expectation of something amazing. Now, Final Fantasy boxes are getting pretty out of hand for collector booster boxes, so what does that mean for the singles inside this product? Well, in today's video, we're taking a look at that, so stick around, don't miss out. It's sets like Final Fantasy that make me sometimes believe Wizards of the Coast has really cracked the code on what players are after. Welcome back everyone, MTG Moxman here, and thank you again for hanging out with me on my channel. And yeah, sometimes it also makes me think the world's gone insane, but we'll get to that later in the video today because sometimes you just have to wonder. So, if you guys haven't been paying attention the last couple of days, Final Fantasy collector boxes have been going up in price. They're also selling at these higher prices. And I'll tell you right now, no, I do not know where to get any anymore. They're all sold out everywhere I go. Anyone I know, any LGS presence people I know, they're gone. Okay, you can't get them. And that's also driving this FOMO event. People want to be a part of something. They want to be a part of this. And this is where it leads us, okay? Let me show you this first image. Take a look at this from TCG Player. Here we have Final Fantasy collector boxes. And you can see this new increased price. If you look at the very top, it says $644.75. That puts it over $900 Canadian. If you look at the second, third, fourth box, anyway, the cheapest one here is $646.32. That's the cheapest. Again, with conversion rates in Canada, you'd add 40%. It would be insane. Which makes a lot of players believe that this event, what you're seeing right now, this is kind of like Fallout, but at an even more accelerated pace of engagement and thrill factor. Okay? It's blowing up people's minds. And I know this because you hear it talking at stores, you hear people emailing me way more, people I have never met before. Never communicated with this channel or engaged in a regular way or any meaningful way. They've never felt a need to email until now. Either they're looking for these boxes, they wonder where they can find them, or they say, I was lucky enough to get one. This tells me a few things. It tells me people love to be part of an event. Just like going to any big concert. You love to be part of the crowd. You know you want these products. You're willing to spend the money. You know they're going to be hard to get. So you want to make sure you get in early and get it done. Pre-order done, and you better have a good relationship with your LGS, and they better not cancel it on you. Now, that leads us, though, to the second part of this conversation. That is the value of things. When we have high-end collector boxes like this, are they really going to hold value? Are these cards going to be worth more money? Because I have a whole bunch of people who have emailed asking where they can pre-order the singles. We don't know the singles yet. We've only seen a couple from these new upcoming sets. And in Final Fantasy, we know what, 10, 12 cards, maybe? I don't remember, I'm not looking at a number right now, but it seems kind of early to be looking for those singles. But then I said, well, are the singles selling? Or are they, is this happening? And here's what you can find out. Guys, Jumbo here. Oh yeah, I remember this from the game. Universes Beyond Final Fantasy. This thing is $69.69. $69.69. The market is $71.85. Now, how do we know this thing has the price like this? How do we know, unless somebody's bought it, unless we have actual listed sales? Did that happen? It did happen! It did! People have been buying the card on pre-order. So there is a market already. It's already happening. Somebody's decided to put these things up and put them on pre-order. The 10,000 Needles card, he's selling already, man. People are waiting to fling this at their opponents. There are so many ways of just killing people with this card. Everyone's super stoked and excited. That engagement level. And look at the copies selling. Somebody bought 4. Now, let's take a moment though. Let's step back here. Number 1, Jumbo. He's a rare. He's not a mythic, right? That's not a special edition copy. I mean, if you want the special edition copies, well, that's right here. And that card is selling as well. That's right. The other version is also selling, and a little bit different because the price starts off at like $50, and now you can see today a near mint foil is going to be $129. Jumbo is going to be a very popular card. We're going to be looking forward to seeing him in Standard a lot. And if this price holds, it'll blow my mind, because that is where players are at right now. They are willing to spend this kind of money to be part of something, knowing, if anyone's been around the game for a while, you know that this is a rare. It's not a mythic. And even a rare like this is going to be opened a lot between a play booster box, bundle packs, pre-release kits, and of course, collector booster boxes. So I can expect reasonably for that price to collapse, even though a Final Fantasy collector box is going to be around, in Canada, $800-900, give or take. That card is still no more rare or less rare than what Wizards of the Coast had originally planned. So it seems very, very unlikely that some of these cards are going to stick to the prices we've seen. But that doesn't stop people from getting excited, wanting to be part of something, and saying, I'm not missing out when this comes out. I'm picking it up day one. I'm buying it, I'm playing with it, and I can't wait to throttle somebody by flinging needles in their face. It's amazing. But it's not the only thing, because this is just what's going on with Final Fantasy. Have you guys seen what's happening with Cons of Tarkir collector boxes? If I told you guys that the interest in these boxes is already starting to grow, with the cards we've seen like Mox Jasper, we have a lot of interest in these boxes, and they as well are selling a lot more than is typical for this time of year. And let's not forget, those boxes are a lot more affordable. Here in Canada, it's $349, which means it's what? $240 something in the States? Comparatively speaking, that's a lot less money than those Final Fantasy boxes, but of course I'm sure they won't be quite as rare or as collectible as those. But it's still insane to think we're going to have some great cards coming up, like Mox Jasper, which is still selling, by the way. It sold like another 6-7 copies today at $100. Just like Jumbo, we have these cards selling without knowing all the cards, not knowing how often they are going to come out. This kind of sales action in the market, this kind of event, and it is a FOMO event of missing out on something, we haven't seen this in a long time. Not even when I remember Bloomborough. We talked about Crag Flame and the whole kind of awesome feel that this thing had, bringing us back in the 80s style films. Now, the thing about Bloomborough and its popularity at the time was there was a whole bunch of secondary market cascading effects that just kind of teed off. Things like Deranged Hermit from the reserve list. You had Squirrels come out, and it got people just insane to buy that card. The price went from like $16 to $30 to $50 to $80. Tarkir is no different. Now, Final Fantasy, we don't know enough about it, but Tarkir, Dragonstorm, we know what's on Tarkir. We know it's dragons. We know what we're looking for. If anyone paid attention the last few days, Tiamat from Adventures in Forgotten Realms, it sold hundreds and hundreds of copies, if not thousands by the time you watch this video. All the different versions that have been reprinted already, they've all been selling. Okay? Across multiple platforms and format versions, from foil to non-foil, full art, secret layer. It is insane to think how many of these sales have happened for dragons in general. And of course, when you get a card like Mox Jasper that gets people's minds going, things like this can happen as well. You can have commons worth nothing, like the Universal Automaton. It's a 1 casting cost changeling. It's a 1/1, but of course it counts as every creature type. This thing has sold thousands of copies in the last 2 days. It's going to be on my top 10. It's unavoidable. It's going to be there. When you see a card like that going from 40 cents to like $1.20, I think by the time you watch this video, US, over $2 here in Canada, doesn't seem like a lot of money, does it? But the person who was selling those copies and bought them at 30 cents is now selling for a couple of bucks and sells 100 copies a day. That's a lot of money being made. And the fact that the Universal Automaton works with Metalcraft, of course, for Mox Opal, you can get a lot of these Moxes teeing off on each other and offering a lot of versatility and build types inside of everything from modern. You're going to be able to use some of these cards in vintage. And of course, we're not going to forget about Commander. It's going to be crazy to see how these things all group together in the long term and see what other secondary market effects happen. Because Tarkir, Dragonstorm, has already given us good dragons. We already have new dragons coming out that are getting people stoked up. A lot of players are assuming there's going to be a new Ugin as well. We've seen the imagery. We're all expecting it. We just don't know how good he's going to be or what the storyline is behind him. We're all excited. I can't wait. And that is getting people's imaginations going. it's getting the money flowing. It's getting the wallets open saying, I'm not missing out, baby. We're going to do a little bit of this. We're going to do a little bit of that. And before you know it, my new dragon deck is going to be built. Or in some cases, my dragon deck is going to be augmented with the latest, best, biggest power creep dragons I can possibly find. And there is going to be quite a few of them. And always look for those lower casting cost ones because those dragons are going to be in there too. You got to make sure that Mox Jasper is going to work. You got to make sure there's enough little things to work together. I wouldn't be surprised if some set later this year offers some kind of new changeling or shapeshifter that's really low casting cost. Just to kind of work with the card a little bit better. Because that's the stuff that Wizards of the Coast does. Which allows secondary market sales for Mox Opal. For Mox Amber, which has been on a tear. It's up another couple of bucks today. All these cards can go together. When they go together with synergy, Wizard of the Coast gets a reprint opportunity. You just got to understand what they're looking at. It's great. The sales are great. Everyone's happy. We're excited. I can't wait to see. Even though I know what's happening in the market, I myself can't wait to see how this all plays out. I can't help it. I'm caught up into it right now, same as you guys are. Now, drop some comments. Let me know what you guys are thinking. Have you been following some of these secondary market sales? Or did you just find out today from me? Have you seen how insane it's going to be? Check with your local LGS. No, they're not going to be sold out yet of any of these Tarkir Dragonstorm boxes. But they may not know how many they're getting for allocation. So you may want to check in if you're thinking about buying one, just to make sure you've given yourself enough runway room before these products come around. Thanks again for hanging out with the Mox Man. Drop some comments in the comment section. I will see you guys tomorrow for another video. And remember, if you enjoyed your time here today, you liked hanging out with me, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. We're trying to get to 30,000 to get to our party. And of course, everyone's going to be invited to the 30K party. Thanks for stopping by today. I look forward to seeing you guys all tomorrow for another video. Hey guys, thanks for being here today, and I want to do a big shout out, a big thank you to all my fantastic patrons who support my channel each and every day. Because of those patrons, daily uploaded content is made possible for everyone on YouTube to enjoy, but it's because of that monthly support that we're able to do so. So thanks again guys, I'm looking forward to seeing you guys for the live stream this weekend for our Patreon giveaway. Okay, you've made it to the end. You got your little ticket thing to let you get into the backstage. The door is closed. There's nobody else here. No listening devices in the room. This is the Ramble Jamble brought to you by MTG Moxman. I didn't want to freak people out. Okay? I didn't. So I'm putting it here at the end. The Tarkir collector boxes are selling beyond the norm. Some stores have reported they've sold out. I didn't want to cause another thing where people start yelling at you, but I know several stores, they only ordered 6. Just like Final Fantasy type thing. They've already sold it. People saw the cards in the weekend, they're gone. So there may be a case, depending on where you are in the world, that it might be a little bit harder to get some of these boxes. Check in with your local LGS, whoever you support, wherever you purchase your stuff. You may find it a little bit tighter depending on where you are in the world. Just be aware of it. I don't think they're going to be totally sold out. Bigger stores like 401, there's no way they're going to sell out here in Ontario. They never actually sell out right away. But there have been instances now where they do order less. So it's potentially possible in that first 30 days to sell out. And if we see some really cool cards that get people's minds blown like Mox Jasper has, and if the price holds the way it is, people might think they can make a quick buck, and you might have another run on some of these products. So I've warned you. I've informed you. That's the best we're going to get. And I still want to buy a couple of boxes of that too. It's going to blow my mind. On the higher note, all kinds of other stuff arrived. So I've almost got everything I need to do the video about all kinds of new prizes we added to our Patreon thing. But I'm not going to do it yet. I'll do it by the weekend though, because I got to add that stuff in randomly. Anyway. Guys, thanks again. Have a great one. Ramble Jamble!